Hello everyone, this is SonaalVChhibber and I am the Senior Corporate Communications Consultant and People and Engagement Specialist, and today I would be conducting a webinar on mental health at work, and I'm conducting this webinar for Vassal Village Toastmasters Club members. So I would be discussing some important tips for both the employers and employees to ensure mental health at workplace. So stay tuned and check out the webinar and learn some significant life-changing tips to reform yourself and your colleagues at the workplace. So stay tuned. Thank you.
So good evening, one and all, Toastmasters and guests, for our 9th edition of Vassal Talks. Today we talk about the mental health at work. October 10 is the World Mental Health Day. It's good to check it out, our mental health. Reviewing like our checking the medical status, it's too good to have verified our mental health as well. So today's speaker with us is a senior professional with over 24 years of experience across the Middle East, US, UK and India. She has a proven track record of creating strategic and engaging initiatives tailored to business and communication goals, aligned to employee wellness and the organization's mission. She is currently working as a senior corporate communications consultant and people and engagement specialist at Mentra Care. It's her views on the importance of mental health at work. Let me introduce today's speaker for the day, mental health at work, SonaalVChhibber. Sonaal, now the virtual stage is for you. Let us take through our mental health status.
Good evening everyone, and thank you Salim and Vassal Talks for giving me the opportunity to speak about a very vital topic, which is mental health at work. And as Salim has already introduced me to you all, so I do work with Mantra Care, and I work as Senior Corporate Communications Consultant and People and Engagement Specialist. So Mantra Care is a platform, as you can see the tagline, which says, transforming workplaces and empowering lives. So my transition to, the wellness field has been, it's been a long journey, because I started as a banker. I worked with Citibank, and then I went into education field with GEMS Education, and then I went into media field as editor-in-chief and journalist. But then, the pandemic changed everything, because, in pandemic, there was a lot of stress at workplaces, and it really pained me to see, the employees were forcing the employees to come every day, even though, the situation was not right. So that made me think, if, I cannot change, certain things, then I have to learn and equip myself to be well, and, to motivate others to be, well and, mentally fit at the workplace. And that's why I did, a lot of wellness courses like NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, to train my mind to stay positive in every situation. Then Reiki and many other courses. And finally, I thought, let me join an organization which not only equips, the employees in the companies, but makes everybody, think positive about themselves, about the situation, because pandemic was a grim situation for which we all were not prepared. So from there, my journey started, and today I'm working with Mantra Care, and I'm with you all to share, my views on this vital topic. So before I begin, as you know, we will be discussing about building a stress-free workplace, because I know a lot of workplaces are toxic. So firstly I want to know what is mental health. So if you can, type in the chat box like what comes to you when I say mental health. What conspires in you, anything, you can just type in the chat box. Okay. Yeah. So you all are like more or less correct, because when we think of mental health, it speaks about stress, anxiety, depression, sadness, problem, and if it is prolonged then it leads to illness. So what is workplace mental health? We always speak about mental health, but is mental health, like we were speaking before the call, we were generally speaking that mental health, where we are talking about mental health, be it at home place or at the workplace. So I am focusing mental health because we all are professionals at the workplace, and I think workplace mental health refers to emotional, psychological and social well-being of employees. So maintaining a healthy workplace involves balancing employee mental health with the demands of the job. So that is, I've spoken about it in brief. But what causes this stress in the workplace? It could be insecurity, it could be not treating everybody equally, there could be gender bias, there could be it cannot be a situation which is perfect, so the inclusivity or the inclusion is not there, because certain people are challenged. So creating a workplace which suits everybody, because we have all types of professionals, and especially in Dubai we have expats from all over the world. They come with their different nationalities, sometimes different baggage, different skills. So the idea is to utilize their skills at the optimal level, rather than focusing on their weaknesses or their gender or the pay parity. So these all points create the mental imbalance in the office. And how the stress affects the workplace, like we can always say, okay, stress is there, everybody's stressed these days, so what is the big deal? But then it is a big deal, because it not only affects an individual, because it affects the workplace as well, because before being an employee we are a human. So before we join any organization, we are human first, we have our emotions, and we deserve to be treated well, and we deserve to be in a conducive environment where everybody is heard, everybody is respected. So how stress affects the workplace? You can see it, it leads to productivity fall, as WHO also says. The companies lose in millions because of non-productivity of employees, which happens due to their depression, being depressed or being mentally ill. So many employees are forced to leave their jobs, and sometimes they are at a high position, so it affects the companies, because it's not easy to replace an employee. So then they realize, okay, we should have treated that employee well, but then it's too late, because the employee goes into illness and the company goes into chaos. So it leads to high employee turnover, absenteeism. So many times we get up in the morning as professionals and we don't like to go to work, which is very sad. I mean, we should look forward to go to our workplaces, but sometimes it happens we don't want to go, and the reason is simple, because we feel that we will be stressed there, and nobody wants to be stressed, everybody wants to be happy. So sometimes we make a reason that now today we are not feeling well, and sometimes that is not also taken in a good way by the companies, because they don't understand what does it mean to say I'm not feeling well, to come to the office. They force you to go, and then you go, and then you are in a turmoil. The company is not benefiting, because of course you are not productive in this state. So how to reduce the stress at work? So this is very important, and I would say the stress would be reduced if like I said earlier, the employees are heard, they are given the chance to speak about their grievances. There is a supportive colleagues and bosses wherein one can open up and talk about, not create a stigma like that, I need some help, but talk openly. So there should be flexible schedule as well. Thanks to COVID, I mean, if it didn't do anything good, it was a blessing in disguise, because now we have hybrid way of working, we have remote settings in many companies, which supports the employee well-being, because certain days if they want to take an off and or work from home, they have that option. That flexible schedule is there, unlike before. So flexible schedule ensures there is work-life balance, and there is less stress and more productive environment for the employees. So every company should think of remote and hybrid settings more than the on-site settings, because it gives the employees chance to have work-life balance, which is very important to maintain mental peace. Okay, so next we will discuss what wellness programs can be implemented at workplace by the employers. So I would say the employers should introduce wellness programs that include access to counseling, stress relief activities, and mental health days. So these programs provide a support system for employees facing mental health challenges. So like we celebrate Women's Day and Father's Day, there should be mental health days celebrated at workplaces too, because it's an important subject, and it has to be celebrated, and there should be some goodies given, or some off given to some employees, or a big party should be thrown at the office or somewhere else, to basically celebrate mental health and to ensure that happy employees make a happy workplace. Okay, so what is the role of leadership in stress management? I would say the role of leadership is very, very important, because leaders set the tone for mental health awareness. By showing empathy and compassion and prioritizing stress management, leaders can create a culture of support and openness. So, I mean, the leaders should ensure the employees are, happy, and they are, they give priority to their wellness, and they're supporting their peers, and it's a happy place, because when there is happiness and wellness around, then only the employees can be productive, and then only the businesses can prosper. So leadership should take the onus and ensure that they make sure the employees join some mental health programs, or they have a buddy attached to them, or they speak to a counselor if they are grieving, or they have some mental issues, because it's a need of the hour to have a healthier workforce, to have a productive business. So it works both ways, and so I would say leadership plays an important role in enforcing wellness programs and wellness of the employees. Then how should the employers make sure that the work culture is supportive? So I would say they should build a supportive culture by encouraging team collaboration, peer support, and regular check-ins. Employees are more resilient when they feel connected and supported by their peers. So I would say the check-ins are very important, because when a new employee joins, usually the HR for few days make sure the employee has settled well. But then after a month or 3 months, the HR and everybody forgets about the employee, and they think now the employee is settled and everything is fine. But that's not the right way to do, because regular check-ins should happen, and I would say not only for the new employees but for the old employees as well, because it always helps when the HR or a mentor or a buddy or a peer or a supervisor asks the employees from time to time that how are you doing and how is everything. It's not really that they have to ask about what is the real cause, but just asking and just checking in on an employee makes the employee feel so much safer, secure and happier, and that employee feels loyal towards the organization because he or she thinks that if the organization is caring so much for the employee's mental well-being, then why shouldn't the employee give 101% for the success of the organization? So it is very important to have regular check-ins, and it should be made mandatory by the organization that there should be a team assigned to make sure the wellness of the employees is at the top priority, because then only the corporates will benefit and even the employees will benefit. So it's very vital, I would say. Now you have to start building a stress-free workplace from today. So all the CEOs or the leadership members who are currently hearing me out in this webinar, they should make sure that after this webinar they should make sure that a stress-free workplace is is implemented, and it is implemented from today, now. Okay, because you have to take the first step by promoting well-being, because you have to offer resources and address the stressors or the mental illness, the trigger points, because a stress-free workplace benefits both employees and the organization. So you have to make sure your employees' needs are catered to, and they don't feel the stigma to share what is bothering them, and if their mental peace is being compromised due to tensions at home or in office or anything. So it is your responsibility to make sure you give the employee a stress-free workplace to perform optimally and conduct a happy environment for himself or herself and the peers around. So that is very important, and you have to be mindful of creating a stress-free workplace for all. So now I would say mental health is just as important as physical health and deserves the same quality of support. So if all of you agree with me, then I want you to say in the chat box that okay, yes, Y for yes and N for no. I want to see whether you all feel that mental health deserves the same priority as we give to physical health. Let me see. Okay, so all of you are saying yes. I'm very happy you're agreeing to what I just explained, and that is the way to go. Okay, so I would say creating a stress-free workplace is not just the responsibility of employers but as well as the employees. So what can the employees do to ensure a stress-free workplace? So there are 5 ways to prioritize your mental health at work. So this is a quick steps and guide for the employees. So first one is utilize the employee assistance programs. So many employers offer free confidential counseling services. So if you join a new organization, you can always ask the HR when they give you the manual and everything that do you have such programs, and if they are there you can enroll. And even if you are an old employee, you can still ask the HR or the senior leadership team that you would like to enroll in such programs, because if they already have, then it's good for you, and if they don't have, they will think about it and implement in future. So it benefits to talk openly and ask for these vital programs. And second is practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques. So you can take short breaks throughout the day. So when you have a lunch time, after finishing your lunch, take a stroll around your office, go out, take some fresh air, or sit for some time and meditate. so it always helps. Or use the stairs instead of the lift, or park your cars at a distance so that you can walk up to the office. So all these basic things and little things can help you. And certain times there are gyms also in some offices, so you can avail those services as well, because physical fitness is also very important. Because if you are physically fit, you are mentally fit, and it goes both ways. If you are mentally fit, then it will affect your physicality and your physical work also. So you should make sure you take vital steps daily. Count your steps. You can wear, now we have these Apple watches, you can just count your steps, see how much you are walking each day or running each day, and accordingly adjust your schedule so that you keep the fitness levels high. Third would be to engage in certain physical activities which can boost your mood and reduce stress. So it's not only in the office you have to be physically fit, you have to make sure at home also you're physically fit. So you can join some Pilates class, or some Zumba classes, yoga classes, anything which keeps you mentally and physically fit. Because if you are happy at home, it will impact your state of mind in office, and if you're happy in office, it will impact your mental state at home. So you should make sure you are happy in both workplaces and your house, to ensure optimal productivity and your optimal state of mind. Fourth is set boundaries and prioritize self-care. So take time off when needed. So every organization has annual leave. So instead of skipping that, take use of that. Go to some place and be it with family, or take solo trips and just unwind and come back rejuvenated. Because it's very important to self-care. Or you can take short trips even during the weekends and detox yourself. There are so many mindfulness centers and detox centers. So you should use these kind of services and opportunities to stay mentally and physically fit. And then you should seek professional help also. So don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health professional if you feel it's a prolonged illness and you're not getting better. There are mood swings, there are temper issues, and it's affecting your productivity at work. Then you should take professional help. You can even ask your HR in the workplace, do they have some counselors which they are affiliated with, where you can go, or you can take a private services also, because it's all covered in insurance. So you should not bother about these things. You should take the first step and get yourself mentally fit, because it's very important. So consult a counselor or consult a mindfulness coach or NLP master, and learn some tricks to train your mind to see the positive in everything. I, being a corporate professional as well, I also did NLP, Reiki, so many courses, because idea was to keep myself mentally and physically fit. So same I would advise to you as well. So I would say your mental health matters. You are a human first before you are an employee. So you are a human being first, and then you become an employee. So your mental health matters, because as humans we have emotions and we have to deal with it productively to channelize our energies and stay happy. Okay, so mental well-being helps you in many things, like you can realize your abilities, cope up with normal stresses in life, work productively and fruitfully, have positive emotions, thoughts and perceptions, contribute to the community. So there are so many benefits of mental well-being. So it's high time you take it seriously and work on yourself, on the workplace and everything. Okay, so I would say in my concluding thoughts that mental health at work is not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. When we care for our minds, we care for our work, our teams and our future. So if you all agree with me that mental health at work is not a luxury and it is a necessity, please type in the chat box. If you think it's a luxury, type L. If you think it's a necessity, type N. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, that's refreshing to know all of you think it's a necessity. Great. So yeah, so mental health is no more a luxury, and it is a necessity, and it has to be catered to seriously. So that concludes my my viewpoint on mental health at work. Thank you all for listening. I'm open to questions. You can connect with me via LinkedIn or WhatsApp, and if your corporates or you as an individual are looking for any seminar, workshop or classes on mental health, then you can always consult me, and I would be happy to help you out and your colleagues and your leaders. So that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned, and I'll be discussing more topics in future which will benefit you all. Thank you. Have a great day.